NBA ownership is probably one of the more misunderstood things that exist in DFS because a lot of people don't really understand how it works. Any individual player's ownership isn't all that important by itself. It's the relationship between every other projected ownership number in the lineup. Now, if we want to just talk about what we're looking at, I'll use Andrew Wiggins as the example. He is on the screen in the top of the list, 73.4%. That is how frequently we expect Andrew Wiggins to be in a lineup in the largest field contest, on this case in DraftKings. It would be the same for FanDuel or for Yahoo. That is what our ownership projections are representing, the largest field contest for that day. And we think Andrew Wiggins will be in more lineups than anybody else. But that shouldn't be an immediate thought of, oh, I have to lock this player in, or, oh, I have to fade him because he's heavily owned. Don't look at ownership like that. This is just a representation of where we expect everybody else to be. But in the NBA in particular, the highest owned guys are unequivocally the best plays. How you cycle them in and out of your lineup is a completely different story that we'll get to in different videos. But for this particular spot, we're paying close attention to the ownership at the top end. In GPPs, you still want to get to these guys for sure. But you will, as the contest size gets bigger, you will want to find lower owned plays to make your lineup a bit more contrarian and a bit more unique. But in cash games, you kind of want the opposite. You're going to funnel yourself to the best owned plays. Think about a 50-50 contest with 100 entries in it. There's no bonus for finishing first in comparison to finishing 45th. You get the same amount of money either way. So don't take on unnecessary risk by using guys that no one would want to play in a cash game. You just don't have to do that. Generally, you're going to funnel yourself towards the top of the ownership table for a cash game. GPPs are where you're going to start to grab little bits of it somewhere else. Maybe you want to go from Kevon Looney at center, who's in 72% of lineups, down to Yusuf Nurkic, who's a center, who's in 19% of lineups. That would be the sort of move you would make in a larger field contest to bring your uniqueness, well, raise your uniqueness. In a cash game, you might have Yusuf Nurkic and then want to go to Looney. I hope that makes some sense. Ownership is the most interesting piece of an NBA contest, and I think it's the thing that people miss out on the most. Don't immediately run away from ownership. Any one individual player isn't all that important. It's what you're doing for the whole lineup that matters.